mom came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year. And they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that his team just beat this team. My team got destroyed by this team, and that, of course, is the Cowboys, and then his team, the Packers, just beat them, and that man's team is Austin.
Yeah, so we're talking about the 49ers. Is their season doomed? Brock Purdy missed this game. Big reason why what happened. They're now 5-6. They're last place in their division. It's going to be tough. Kevin, to answer the question just straight up, is their season doomed, or is it more of a wait and see?
I don't want to be premature to call it, but the more I think about it, because when you look at their schedule, but you have the NFC West, I'm going to go wait and see. But it is teetering on doom for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's doomed. It's just because it's the feel of the season. They've had so many injuries, so many concerns. CMC's missed a lot of time. Brock Purdy missed this game. Debo missed games with pneumonia or with other situations. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL.
George Kittle's missed games.
Yeah. Even though he played great against the Packers, he has missed a lot of games. Trent Williams has been dealing with injuries. It's been a bad year for them health-wise, and I just don't feel like they're going to be able to muster up enough. Even if they get into the playoffs, can they really beat a high-end NFC team in the first round? I don't know. I just feel like this is a team that we would consider Super Bowl or bust. It was on our list. So a first-round exit, second-round exit, division round exit is still a failure, and I think they're doomed to that sort of fate at the best-case scenario. I just don't see them being a contender this season, which would mean their season is doomed.
So the reason I would say doomed, which I'm not saying doomed, is because I don't think they can get into the playoffs. That's my concern, just what they're doing. Because if they get to the NFC, if they get to the playoffs, to me, then everyone's going to be healthy. They're going to be better. And then they can make a run. And they can at least.
Is everyone going to be healthy, though? We don't know that. Their team's been dealing with injuries so much that I don't think that that's a given thing at this point.
To me, the Brock Purdy injury, it's just an injury after injury. You have Debo Samuel comes back. Then Brandon Ayuk gets injured. Then George Kittle is dealing with something. Then when all that's looking to get better, they have Brock Purdy get injured. But the thing is, the NFC West is the Seahawks are tied with the Cardinals at 6-5, and then the Niners are tied with the Rams at 5-6. 2 games, which those swings could happen in the later parts of their schedule because
the Rams are 5-5, by the way. We don't know if they're going to lose to the Eagles as we're recording it. I guess they could.
Oh, okay. I misread that because it has the Rams listed on Google as higher than this Niners, so I thought they were just tied 5-6, but no.
No. They're 5-5 as we're recording.
Yeah. So, but when you look at the Niners, it looks like actually they play the Rams again and then the Cardinals. Then they also have the Bills, Bears. It's just, can they get to the playoffs? That's my concern. And it's hard to do that because they just got all these through these injuries, and that's what's hurting them, especially if Brock Purdy's out against the Bills.
But you hesitate to say it's doomed.
Because of the NFC West and just the volatility. Because it could happen 2 weeks from now. Okay, they're leading the NFC West. That's
A lot would have to go right.
yeah. But it's only a 2-game swing. There are 6
But their
games
schedule
left.
is extremely difficult. It
I
makes
know.
it. They made it hard on themselves, and also injuries have kind of derailed what they would like to see as a good season.
It's just I'm scared to call it because of just how close it is in that division. And let's say they beat the Bills somehow, some way they beat the Bills, then it's looking better. Then they play the Bears. So they could, if they just get 1 to 2 wins while the NFC West teams lose one, I can see that happening just because of because the NFC West is good. It's just who's going to be the leading that division. And I think all 4 teams are in play. And that's why I would include the Niners. And that's why that's the reason I would say doomed because they can't make it to the playoffs. It's not because of them not being able to perform in the playoffs, but I'm not saying doomed because of they can still get to the playoffs. And I'm going to believe in this team as a predictor if they make it to the playoffs, just because of that
If I
roster.
can, because of how many injuries they've had. It makes it really hard for me to trust their team with all the injuries. The NFC is kind of a hellscape right now, and they have so many teams that are so close together. Maybe they can get a 7 seed, but are we really looking at this team saying this team is better in the playoffs than Eagles, Packers, Vikings, or Lions? No, not in my opinion. I just don't see how. Again, they win the wild card game against the Eagles, who they would play right now, and then they have to play the Lions. A divisional loss is still a doomed season for a team that just lost in overtime of the Super Bowl and is yet to win a Super Bowl since the 90s. So I would say it's doomed right now because I don't think they have the roster capable of making any sort of run, even if they do make it to the playoffs, which is not a guarantee at all.
Yeah. I do think they have the roster, especially they just need Brock Purdy healthy. That to me, it's Brock Purdy's health. That's what really has pushed them into this doom territory. Because you got to assume Purdy plays. I'm not guaranteeing a win against the Packers, but it's definitely a better shot of when it was basically 38-7. I saw it's 38-10, but that'd be a late field goal. It's really, and you got to assume Purdy gives them a chance against the Bills. So it's just been a rough year for them and pushed them into a bad spot where they could miss the playoffs after looking so promising after they just lost off a touchdown in overtime. And that's so heartbreaking. And then to follow up the season with this, which it's not really their play. It's just they don't have the players just because of the injuries and all that. So I'm going to wait and see mode. I'm too scared to call it prematurely. But that is all I have. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
Let us know if you disagree, if you're ready to call it. They're doomed. The end is near for the Niners and them just being a good team in general. Let us know. We're not saying that, but Austin says they're doomed for this season. I am a little bit scared to just call them dead yet, but it's starting to look like it. We'll keep you updated. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.